What if I told you that most people are broke or very close to broke and cannot even come up with $1,000 today if they had an emergency or something that they had to take care of? That's a bad sign. So that kind of gives us an indicator into where we are financially. So most people today are struggling just to pay the bills. Most people today are struggling to buy food. Most people today cannot drive the car they want to drive, cannot live in the home or the neighborhood that they would like to live in. And so we've got a real issue, a real pandemic. I call it the financial crisis, the personal finance crisis, and the PFC. And you don't want to participate in that crisis. It is voluntary, but you don't want to be there. So there's a bunch of things that we cannot control that helps us to get into these bad financial situations: your job, your salary, the cost of living, the cost of your home, cost of food, cost of fuel. There's a bunch of things that affect it, but Americans are going broke. Americans are suffering, and most Americans, probably the vast majority of Americans, cannot afford the life they would like to live. And so hit subscribe, hit thumbs up. Welcome to this channel. Let's talk about it a little. We are in a very bad situation. Most people are. And I'm not going to get into all the intricacies of it. Just know that there's a bunch of things that led us here. Supply chains, government debt, printing money, borrowing money from the Fed, all those things. And kind of what we see today, well, not kind of, it is in actuality a reflection of everything that has been going on for many years, but probably more so the last 4 years since 2020. So I contend that 2020 changed everything financially, whereas the things that you were doing prior to 2020, they probably did work. Some go back even further, but in 2020, pretty much everything changed when it comes to money and finance. And so that leads us to where we are today, where the average American is struggling, just to make ends meet, where the months used to be 30 days and now they feel like 90-day months, right? They last forever and the money doesn't. And if you watch this channel, and I know you do, and if you haven't watched it, you need to watch it, because this channel is not conventional, and this channel addresses the main issues. And it's not always going to be popular. Everybody's not going to like me. Everybody's not going to like this content. There's some that's going to think I'm crazy. I've seen the comments. I know how you guys think. I know how you feel. There's a bunch of that going on. But listen, at the end of the day, it is what it is. There is, I want to say recession, but I'll just say, look, there's a cataclysmic financial event or storm that's brewing. Now, when it's going to happen, I don't know. I can't tell you that, so I'm not going to try to guess. I will say probably not long, not much further along than where we are now, right? So not much further from now. Something very bad in the economy is going to happen. Now, it looks like it's just trending that way very slowly. The economy's up and up and up, and it looks good, and we're going up that roller coaster, and everybody's prepared, and we know it's coming at the top, that drop, right? And so the stock market looks good. The housing market looks kind of healthy. I know the prices are dropping, but it hadn't gone crazy yet. I see $5,000, $10,000 cuts. That's not going to sell a house. Let's see the GDP. It's kind of fallen, but it hasn't been like anything just nuts. Again, businesses are making record profits and stuff like that, right? But then we start to see that dip coming where, the roller coaster starts to kind of tilt and everybody gets prepared and get ready to scream. I think that's where we are now. We're getting to that point where we're almost at the top and it's going to come down. You see Bitcoin hit an all-time high. Only place to go now is down. You see the stock market hit all-time highs. Only place to go now is down. If you see any market hit an all-time high, usually the only place for it to go now is down. The housing market, all-time high. Housing prices doubling, going nuts, going crazy all around the country. Only way to go now is down. You see the stock market go up. Only way it can go now is down. You see crypto and things like that start to move up. And all of a sudden, it's time to take that drop. So I always say a good investor makes money when they buy, not when they sell. So if you buy at the wrong time, you don't make any money. You buy at the right time, you make money whether you sell or not. So where are we headed? Truth is, I don't know. I don't know. I always assume these politicians are smarter than we are, but it's starting to not look that way. Where are we headed? I don't know. Recession, depression. There's a lot of people depressed already today. So we need to put ourselves in the best financial position possible to succeed. So what does that look like? Well, the first thing that looks like, you got to change your mindset. So I always say, if you don't change your mindset, there's nothing I can say or do for you. It's not going to help you. That's like if you're sick, right? You got a headache. Well, if you don't take your medicine, there's nothing I can do for the pain. But if you take your medicine, it'll help, right? So if you take your medicine, and that medicine today is financial education, which changes the way you think. If you can change the way you think, change your mindset, you can change your actions. If you stay with the same mindset, nothing's going to change for you. Nothing's going to change for you. You're always going to be in a position where you need help, you need extra, right? And you don't have to live in a world of lack. You don't have to live in a life of not having enough. You can put yourself in a better position, but again, it starts with how you think. If you don't believe you can, you won't. Whether you believe it or not, whatever you say is true. Whether you agree with me or disagree, doesn't matter. Whatever you say is true. It's true to you, and that's all that matters. So if I tell you a house is a bad investment because if you live in it and pay the mortgage on it, you have to have a job for 30 years, that's prison. You may or may not agree with that, and you're right. Just like I'm right, because that's right for me. If I tell you that saving money in a bank account is a terrible idea, you should never stack money in a bank account and leave it there. If you save it to use it to make more money the way the banks do. And you may come along and say, no, there's rainy days, there's emergencies, there's anything that could happen. No, we're going to leave $100,000 in the bank and just leave it there. And I'm going to tell you that's nuts. That's insane. You can use that money and make money, live off cash flow instead of earned income. But for me, that's great advice because it works for me. For you, you have to decide if that's good advice or not, right? If I tell you, you can't have one source of income, your job cannot be your only paycheck. If that's your only paycheck and you lose your job, you lose everything, right? And then I say, hey, there's no such thing as a safe, secure job. And you guys go, wait a minute, you're nuts. This guy's talking out of his head. There's safe, secure jobs all over the place. I've worked my job for 10 years and I've worked it for 20 and tomorrow they fire you. So what? What does that mean? All that means is you're a liability to the company. Well, they pay me a lot. I make a lot. They can't let me go. Yes, they can. Let you in on a little secret. You're probably the first to go because you make a lot of money. You would be the first I would get rid of, right? As soon as I can find someone to replace you or pass that work on to someone else, out the door you go, right? So again, it's up to you how you interpret this or how you receive this information. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. If you get any value from this video, smash the thumbs up. But I'm only here to help you. I'm only here to wake you up. I'm only here to get your attention and say, hey, things have changed. There's some hard times coming. If you're not prepared, your boat's going to sink. I don't want you to be on the financial Titanic, but there is a financial pandemic in America. People cannot come up with $1,000. It is hard right now. Now, you can save the money in the bank. You get the $1,000. This is why I don't like the bank or saving money in the bank. I love banks. Banks make a lot of money. They give us the example, the blueprint. We just don't use it. But if you pile money in the bank, you pile $1,000 up, you spend it. How much goes back into your account? Zero. But whereas if you use $1,000 to create cash flow, build a business, start a middleman business like me, whatever you do, even if you blow through the $1,000, the money's going to come back because you have cash flow. Cash flow is money moving in from from an asset that comes into your pocket each month. So my business, whenever I first started my business in 2020, I was making about $6,000 a month. Nothing crazy, but that was cash flow. That cash flow would come into my account. So if I spend $6,000, that's fine. Next month, it'll be back. And now this year, we're over the 300 mark, but I've been doing this now for 4 years. By the way, if you want to learn how to start a middleman business from your phone, put the word middleman in the comments below. Let me teach you how to build a business from your phone. Very simple, very easy. All you're going to do is book customers for other businesses, get paid to do it, and you're not going to have to leave the house. You're not going to do any of the work. I can teach you that. Just put middleman in the comments below. So again, the way you've been doing things, if it has not worked for you, then my advice to you is change what you've been doing. right? First, change the way you think. So if you change the input, you can change the output. So change the way you think and then change the actions you've been taking, right? And stop taking those steps that put you in a bad financial situation. Make better money moves. That's what you need to do. All right, watch another video, watch the next video, learn as much as you can from this channel. All I ask in return is that you hit subscribe, hit thumbs up, help me to build the channel and share it with other people. If you want to have your money mindset flipped, then you are in the right place. Stay on this channel. See you guys on the next video. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Peace.